Hello, this is my review on Jess's fitness testing results. Her sport was hockey, therefore I chose these six tests based around hockey, and obviously that's the reasoning why I chose these six. So in the Illinois agility test, she ran the course in 19 seconds. This is classified as average against normative data. This indicates that she would be similar to most people her age, and if she was able to score anything below 17, this would be an excellent rating and to a professional standard. In the vertical jump test to measure your power, she jumped 36 centimeters. This rating is below average against normative data. The 36 centimeters being below average highlights this would be an area for improvement, and I feel like plyometric training would aid this and help her get better and improve upon her power. What's next? In the ski sit test to measure Jess's muscular endurance, she lasted 32.5 seconds. This indicates that her muscular endurance is below average, and if she was able to get 45 seconds, this would be towards professional standard. Obviously, not yet anyway, with Jess isn't at professional standard, but to work towards that standard, and if she wanted to do this, she would need to improve upon her muscular endurance and get it up towards 45 seconds and improve upon that test, I guess. Next is the Anderson-Waltos test. This is to judge your coordination. She managed to do 18 catches in her time slot. This is a fair rating. This highlights that obviously 18 highlights it's fair, but it also highlights it's a good score, but I reckon Jess can do better. It's just maybe nerves or anything, but the way I believe she can improve upon this would be just a bit of practice makes perfect. This type of test there isn't really much training you can do for it apart from repeatedly doing it. Therefore, I believe if Jess was to repeatedly do the test and work upon it, she would get into a rhythm and be able to score 20, 25, maybe even 30 catches within her time slot. Next is the reaction time. This is the ruler drop test. From when the ruler was dropped to when she caught it at 17 centimeters. This is an average rating, and therefore it's similar to most females her age. However, if she was to score below 5 centimeters, this will be a professional standard, but this wouldn't be expected from Jess at this moment in time. And the final test was the 30-meter sprint test. This obviously measures or is aimed to measure your speed. She managed to run the 30 meters in 4.8 seconds, and this indicates that her speed is average compared to normative data, and most people her age, she is within that category. If she wanted to work towards professional standard, she would want to be doing it in 3.5 seconds. This would be top class, very fast, but I believe the 4.8 seconds she ran it in was a very good score. Based on these results, I've rank ordered these components and what I think's are best. The first one obviously will be her best component, and the sixth one will be the one she needs to improve upon most, and what's the biggest weakness to her. Her top rating, I had coordination, second was agility, third was speed, fourth reaction time, fifth muscular endurance, and her weakest I put her power. Her strengths, I believe the two components of fitness that were Jess's biggest strengths would be her coordination and also her speed. The reason that her coordination is her biggest strength is it was classified as fair against normative data. She managed to score 18 catches within her time, and this means the average person, her age, gender, would have got a similar score. This obviously shows she's got not poor, but quite, I would say, almost a good standard, because there's people she'll be able to outdo within this and within her sport. Obviously, this will clearly have a positive impact upon her hockey and is a definite strength of hers. The positive would be she's able to control the ball, pass the ball a lot better. She would also have good stick control. She'd be able to successfully control balls, successfully shoot. She'd be able to hit the ball a lot cleaner with this good coordination. However, if she didn't have this coordination, she would struggle. This is because if she obviously doesn't have this coordination, there'll be times where she'll misjudge her control. She might miss the ball, she might misaim a pass. However, her coordination is a strength of hers, and this is why it's a strength of hers, and this will rarely happen. Another strength of hers, I believe, would be her speed. The reason her speed is a strength of hers is because it's classified as average against normative data. This means that against the normal person, she would, or not normal, average person of her age, her gender, would run these 30 meters in a similar time. And this means it's obviously clearly a strength of hers because it's already at a good standard and she can improve upon this to get even better. A hockey player needs to have good speed, so she's able to sprint. If there's a through ball played, she can sprint to get that ball before the defender or opponent does, and it works in reverse if she's defending and she's chasing back to make a tackle to stop a player getting through on goal. She's able to catch up and make that ground on the player to make the tackle. Her weaknesses now, I believe that her two components of fitness that would be her biggest weakness would be her muscular endurance, but also her power. The reason muscular endurance would be she only managed to score 32.5 seconds on this test. This means the average person of her age and gender would have lasted longer. She'll obviously need to improve upon this because it's below average, and with it being below average, there's more chance she'll suffer from cramps and fatigue, and she'll get sore muscles quickly, meaning she might have to be substituted before she'd like, or she might lose her position in the team because the coach knows she's not she wouldn't be able to last a full game, so they might put someone else in there with better muscular endurance as a way of maybe trying to get a whole game out of that person, and then Jess would have to fill in and she might not get as much game time as she would like. In addition to this, I believe her other weakness, or her other biggest weakness, would be the power. This was again classified as below average, and she only managed to jump 36 centimetres in the vertical jump test. This obviously is below average, and it would mean the average person her age and gender would jump higher. This will definitely have a negative impact upon Jess's game, because with her not having that power in her legs to jump high, she won't be able to have the power to accelerate quickly. So if she may be caught flat-footed and she has to accelerate quickly to get to a ball before her opponent to maybe stop a goal or to score a goal, this will help if she has that good power in her legs. But because she doesn't, she will lose that power and that acceleration, and it will obviously have a bad effect on her performance because she can't drive to get that ball before her opponent, I suspect. I feel like the main area improvement for her would have to be her muscular endurance. This is because it's a major part of hockey, as it is with most sports. She needs to be able to undergo repeated contractions over a sustained period of time. If she tires too quickly and ends up with fatigue or cramps or anything that will maybe stop her playing or decrease her performance, it's going to be an area she needs to improve upon. And I feel like this would be her biggest weakness, and maybe not a biggest weakness, but a biggest area improvement to improve upon to ensure she improves at hockey and gets a better game and is able to clearly play for as long as she can. Overall, I believe that Jess did well. She worked really hard and did the test to a good standard. In the coordination test, which is the Anderson-Waltos test, I ranked it as her best component, but I ranked her power as her weakest component because this was below average, and I'd want higher from her in the future. As far as training goes, I believe for her coordination, it's just repeated practice of this test. It's the practice makes perfect. For hockey, it's passing to a friend or maybe passing up against a wall. Just get a hockey ball, your stick, find a friend, find a wall you can, and just practice passing the ball against the wall and control, or your friend, pass to a friend, they'll knock it back, you got control, knock it back, and so on and so forth. Just practice makes perfect. I believe this is the best way to improve her coordination, and off the top of my head, I can't think of many better ways of training this. For agility, I would set out cones, maybe a metre or so apart, maybe 5 to 10 cones in a straight line, maybe a couple metres apart, 1 metre to 2 metres. And what I would want Jess to do is have her hockey stick and ball, and I want her to, as fast as she can, dribble in and out the cones, around at the top, back through. This means it's working on her ball control, but it's also working on her ability to change direction and maybe weave in it, like the cones represent defenders. She can weave in and out, replicating a game situation. Obviously, the cones will act as the defenders in the game, and I believe this is a great way to improve upon her agility. Speed, I'd suggest interval training. This will involve interspreading times of work with times of rest. For example, she could do it in like a 2-to-1 ratio. This means basically she'll set out 2 cones, say 10, 20 metres apart, however far, and she will run for 10 seconds back and forth from these cones and then have a 5-second rest. So obviously your 2 would be 10 seconds, the 1 ratio would be your 5 seconds, and this will get the best out of her. I feel like this will be a good way to improve her strength because it's also working on muscular endurance by undergoing repeated contractions. Reaction time. For the ruler drop test, I'd recommend repeatedly doing it. There ain't many other ways within hockey. The dangerous way is you have someone hit a ball, you have like maybe your back facing them, and they hit a ball to you and you got to turn and react to that ball, or maybe as if you were a goalkeeper saving penalties, but Jess isn't a goalkeeper, so this wouldn't be beneficial for her. So it's a dangerous way of doing it, but have your back to them and they'll shout turn, she'll turn, and her friend hits a ball to her and she's got to react to that ball. It's dangerous because if she doesn't react in time, she may get hit on the foot, it may come high, it might hit her in the waist, leg, even head if it's dangerous. But for the main way to improve reaction time, I think the safest way and almost the best way would be just to have your friend and yourself and do the ruler drop test repeatedly and just keep going until you're constantly getting good scores. This will obviously be needed, but I believe in hockey, I believe practice makes perfect, so ruler drop test would be the way forward in my eyes. Muscular endurance, I'd recommend doing sit-ups and press-ups. I would say do either sit-ups or press-ups and do as many as you can in 1 minute. This means obviously by doing as many as she can in a minute, she'll be undergoing repeated contractions in her muscles over this sustained period of time, and she'll be working on muscular endurance, and this will help her maybe evade and miss or dodge cramps, which will definitely have a negative impact upon her performance. The last one would be power. I'd recommend Jess sets out 2 cones between 5 to 10 meters apart from each other. Then she can start one cone start on one cone with her back to the other cone. She'll then have a friend that will shout, say yes, go, anything to stimulate a reaction. Then what she's got to do is when she hears the go or when whatever, she turns and accelerates as fast as she can to that to the second cone, sorry. This will obviously be improving upon her power through acceleration on her legs, because she'll be starting from a standstill and she's got to turn and drive as fast as she can and get the power into her legs so she can get to that cone as fast as possible. This means she'll be training explosive power in her legs. Therefore, she can accelerate quickly and sprint to a cone, which could be representing a hockey ball, and she's sprinting to win possession of it and keep possession. And this will obviously have an impact on hockey, because if you have the ball, the other team can't score, and if you have the ball, you got more chance of scoring the longer you have it. That's my review over, I guess. Thank you.